Hello, everyone, and welcome to League Review. I'm your host, William, and with me today I have Brian,
Hello.
and we have Ryan in spirit with his notes that he gave me. But we are earlier than we've ever been in our entire lives. We are actually 40 minutes earlier than we usually start because Brian's here on time.
Yay!
Not that you're not here on time. Well, sometimes.
Normally I'm just not here.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm trying to get a quick drink of water. But yes, this is week 1 of the LCS. We're coming back. Brian is the defending champion of predictions on LCS.
Is that 2 years running? Two splits running?
No, 'cause I
No?
won it. You won the first year, then I won it, then
Okay.
you won again. We've been doing LCS
Alright.
for 3 splits now. Like, it's crazy.
Wow.
But yes, lots of changes this year. We have 3 new teams with new in quotes, but
New
Dignitas,
asterisk.
yeah, Evil Geniuses, and Immortals all rejoining the league, and we have lost Echo Fox, Optic, and sadly Optic Big is not from the team. And shoot, who else did we lose? Oh, Clutch. I'm like, I totally didn't remember them, but yes, we lost those teams. Some teams come back. Lots of changes. We're going to go over the changes for each of the teams or just in general while we are doing the power rankings today. So then we are just going to do our power rankings through that, and then we are going to do predictions. And we'll see how this year goes. And hopefully I do a lot better because NA was actually my worst performance out of all of my leagues last year.
Well, I mean, when there's this high level of play, it's really just a toss-up between who's going to win between both
Absolutely.
powerhouse teams.
Absolutely. That's exactly the
So,
reason.
no fault for you, William.
Yeah. Yep. It's just too difficult for the LCS.
It's too close.
All right, so we got our bottom 5 rankings is the first start because I can't put them all on one screen anymore. But we're not going to since there's so many people, like we have 3 people, we're not going to hide the rankings and then like show them like that. But we'll start at number 10. We all have different rankings for every position outside of one position. I won't spoil yet, but it's not in the bottom 5 as you can tell. As for the bottom, I think the bottom 3 for the most part is very similar, but we do have a difference here. With I have Golden Guardians as my 10th place team. Personally, the Golden Guardians got their retained Haunter in top lane. They picked up Closer from Royal Youth, which I really really liked a lot. He's the former Turkish jungler, even though they had a very disappointing Worlds run. And if you watch any of the Worlds podcasts, I was ashamed of them. I was so disappointed in them. They were coming into wildcard region. I thought the best wildcard team to ever make the wildcard region, and then I feel like it got in their heads that they were like, because some other people were also saying that, and then they just like they thought they were better than like, so they played a little more lax, and they weren't as like super try hard as it felt like as some of the other teams. Golden Glue is a new mid laner. GG. But the best change.
GGS.
Nope, they removed the S.
They removed the S.
So
Okay.
he's GG.
I don't like that, but okay.
FBI is the ADC again, but this time permanently instead of switching out with Deathly. And I think that I like it. Like, I still have faith in FBI. He was former ADC for the Bombers back at MSI from OPL. But I just... He's got Keith as his support, is what I'm leading up to here.
Hey.
How do you feel
That's tentative. He could have Hooney as a support.
How do you feel about Huhi and Keith being the supports of Golden Guardians?
I realize now I think I said Hooney, but Huhi, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy for Keith still being on a team. I think he's a really nice guy. I just think AD carry wasn't his role, so I'm excited to see what he does.
Mm-hmm.
Consistently, not top of the ladder. I think he's always challenger.
Maybe
Challenger,
it's the new
Grandmaster,
core DJ.
whatever. Yeah, who knows? Maybe the role swap will be really good for him.
Mm-hmm.
So I know you're doing a player to watch or players to watch. I think on Golden Guardians, I'm looking at their bot lane.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Depends on the bot lane. I trust the top of the map.
Interesting. So you trust Closer? Because for me, my player to watch would be Closer because I would like to see how he performs his first year in a major region. I did quotation marks on the major region.
We are a major region.
We are a major region.
Semifinals 2 years ago, okay? We're holding on.
We are the solid fourth best out of four major regions. We have solidified that position.
Accountant, KPMG is still in the Big Four, even though they're number 4. It counts.
It does. But yeah, I'm looking at Closer because I loved Closer on Royal Youth. He was one of the best players in the Turkish league. So I'm actually really excited about this pickup. Like, not too many people are, I would say, compared to... Because no one's heard of him, so I'd like to...
I think that's probably why he was my player to watch.
Yep. So you go over to you. Or you have Golden Guardians 9th. Ryan also has Golden Guardians 9th. Ryan has Immortals 10th, which let me pick up his notes over here. He had... So for Immortals, I have Immortals 9th. Let's talk about Immortals first. Because you have Immortals 8th. And we're all not super sold. Like I said, I was a Immortals fan when I very first started watching League. That icon is just... The icon is like... The helmet looks like a helmet that I would wear. One of my favorite helmets. And then it had like... just the blue and the teal. Like those are my favorite... Or the black and the teal. Those are my favorite colors. Like, it was great. That's how I picked the team, literally. And then,
it's not because they went 16-0
No.
and then they left and then
wasn't.
he became a Liquid fan when now they've won 3 or 4 splits in a row.
That's legitimately how I picked it. They also had the Evanescence logo in the background. I'm like, come on, man. Like this team was made. That logo is made by someone that is exactly like me. And
I was a big Alabama fan, but I'm swinging Clemson, and now I think I might be an LSU fan. I don't know. Okay.
But yes, Xfinity comes back day 1 of free agency. I'm like, yes. I'm totally on board to like rejoin being an Immortal fan because I'm definitely buying some Immortals merch this year for sure, just because I love everything about it. I'm like, okay, pumped up. Then they get Soaz in the top lane. I'm like, okay, he very poor split on Misfits for the last year. Didn't even finish out the split, to be honest. He got benched and sat and just left Academy or the Challenger League, and so not. We'll see. He's definitely an older vet like Xmithy. We'll see if having those 2 vets on team can really shape up. Then they go out and get Alltech and Hakuo. Was quite confused by that announcement as well, because this is at a time, it's not like no one was available still. You still had like other ADCs and supports available, as we've seen, like some people like Sneaky aren't on a team anymore and stuff like that. So it wasn't even like Apollo and Hakuo, they're the duo that always works together, which I thought was kind of odd. And then you had Ika from, I believe I don't even remember what team he was from. A Master Series in the in Europe, but he wasn't. He was good, but he wasn't anything. There wasn't any like insane high potential out of this so far. Yeah, he was in the EU Championship Series for the last 3. He's been there for 3 years. He's 23, so he's not like it's not like a 19-year-old coming in.
Yeah.
So overall,
not
much. Like it was like it started at such a high with signing Xmithy, and I'm like, oh my god, I was so happy about that. Not only because one, I just like Xmithy, and he's on the old Immortals team. I'm like, oh, you could get this is my issue. I was like, you could get the crew back. Cody's son was still available. Ole it was and still is available, but like I was a little hesitant. Ole kind of had his mental broken, I feel like, on Team Liquid, which makes me feel really bad because I love Ole.
Double F ruined him.
He absolutely ruined him.
I have some thoughts.
Flame
when you're ready.
Was available, by the way, free agent. And I think Flame might still be a free agent. But yeah,
I don't think he wants to come back then.
No, but they could have got the band back together.
Yeah.
But they got that instead, and I wanted to like cry myself to sleep.
Yeah, that's interesting. But what's it see? Or what's it? Blah. Word vomit. But anyway, I'm not completely out on this team. I think we could do a whole podcast on misfits for the last year. I think that
God.
who
What?
knows what was going on internally. So as has always been a solid performer, went to misfits and has a downturn. Did he have an injury too
I
for a little
don't
bit?
remember if he had an injury, but all I remember is that when Misfits, because they were a super team, they blew up and put their entire Master Series roster in. Is it Master Series or is it Academy? I don't remember for Europe.
It's not Academy
It's
over
not
there.
Academy. It's
It's
something else.
European Masters is the tournament.
It's a tournament. It's not. Yeah, I don't remember exactly what's called in Europe, which I probably should know by tomorrow for our Europe
Yeah.
podcast. But because it's Challenger in LPL. But anyway, yeah, and then like he went into there for like 2 weeks and then didn't play at all, and like
Yeah.
he was done.
But my thing with Immortals, they have a really really average team. I think Xmithy is the standout. I think most people would agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Soaz is a huge name. Alltech has been consistently middle of the pack. Hakuho, I think, is maybe mid tier, pushing, not top, but like pushing mid top.
Okay.
So I don't think he's bad. But they have Arrow on their bench. They have Apollo on their bench. If Alltech isn't performing, they have two solid options. I know Arrow hasn't
I don't
been.
know if Arrow is technically on the bench. I think I'm
Well,
unsure on that one. He's on the list, but I don't know
he's
if
on
he's
the list, so I'm going to talk about him.
I-
LOL Esports needs to get their shit together, so
I
Sneaky
don't.
is still on Cloud 9 apparently.
Yeah,
But
I don't know if Arrow is actually on the bench or not.
okay, I'll talk about Apollo then.
Yeah.
Apollo had amazing numbers. And Hakuho is his support. So I think they have a fallback for Alltech. I don't think Alltech is bad. I think really their mid lane, Insanity or Ika, however you say it,
Yeah.
I think that's where they are a little bit
Iffy.
like, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows? It's a very important lane, so
It's very important, especially with the jungle changes. Mid jungle synergy is super important, as we've learned in our solo queue games. That we don't play either position, so we leave it up to the gods.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I agree. You have them eighth. You're the one with the highest hopes at eighth. So we
Yeah.
all
Oh, yeah.
are. We
Super high
all
hopes.
we are. We're not thinking playoffs here. We're not thinking
over the perennial losers, Golden
Mhm.
Guardians and FlyQuest.
Yeah. You have FlyQuest 10th. I want to talk about FlyQuest here. You have FlyQuest 10th. Ryan has him 7th. I actually have FlyQuest 6th, which is I'm gonna have to defend myself on here. You are in the majority. Like not necessarily 10th, but 9th, 8th, 9th, 10th is like where I've seen them from everyone. I've seen a lot of Golden Guardians 10th. I'll just say that.
And I believe in Golden Glue. We'll talk about that.
I've seen Golden Guardians like 12th on some people's lists. There's been some academy teams put above them.
Yeah, no, FlyQuest. I mean, they didn't change much. They got Ignar. They got PoE, which I think it was Crown before PoE, right?
No, it was Poe Belter.
It was Poe Belter. Oh.
Crown was on.
I mean, I think PoE is an upgrade from Poe in recent times.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I just don't see much from this team. Viper, I think, is a good player. Wild Turtle, on his way out. Still a fun player to watch. Santorin's good. PoE is good. Ignar's good, but also has been shaky. It just depends on how they play. If they can, like we were saying before, if they can adapt to like a Chinese style with Ignar being aggressive with Wild Turtle, yeah, maybe I'll regret putting them 10th, but I don't think I'm going to regret it as in they'll be a playoff hopeful if they even make playoffs.
Yes, and then that's kind of what you said was what I was going to tie into because I need to absolutely defend myself on it compared to other people. Like I have FlyQuest as a possible playoff. Like as of right now, I have them at like 6, but like that's preseason power rankings. 6 is like they could make playoffs.
Wait, with the changes to playoffs, is it still only 6?
Yeah. Summer's 8 now.
Summer's 8. Okay.
I don't know if spring is. I think spring
thinking.
might still be 6. I don't actually know though. Back that up.
Right.
But I know for sure Summer is 8. But which is very depressing for two teams that you're like you can't even make playoffs. Like 80% of the league makes it, but I guess two teams can't.
Well, now if you don't make playoffs, you deserve to not make playoffs.
Yeah, absolutely. There is not a single team that's like, oh man, I wish they made playoffs. No, not even close. But with FlyQuest, I've been telling people to play the Chinese style of League of Legends of aggressive team fighting, and I feel like this is a team that has the potential to do that. So I'm hedging my bet, or like putting my bets in on this. It's not really hedging; that's more going all in. But where I'm thinking, you got Viper, very aggressive top laner, little shaky, hasn't shown as much potential as we all should hope that he's would have shown so far. From team when he was on Team Liquid, it was like, oh wow, like people were really excited for him to replace Impact, and so far it hasn't really panned out anywhere near that.
Thank God for you that did not happen.
Yes, exactly. Though you never know, in the Team Liquid like organization might be better. He might be, you never know.
Yeah. Right.
But Santorin is. I'll go back to Santorin because he's the biggest one for me. Power of Evil, very control mage style. He's not super aggressive compared to other mids, but I'm kind of hoping that his kind of controlled, like, you always need one person to be controlled, at least on the team. You can't have all 5 go aggressive unless you're in the LPL. But
you got to have someone back clearing minions when your base race.
Yeah, exactly. You need someone with a calm mind on the team, and I think that's what Power of Evil is going to be for this team. And I think that if he can play control mages, that means he can play teamfight mages. The Orianna is the classic one I always go to. That's a great teamfight mage. If you're going to be a teamfight team, that's a great pick that you can have for most times. Did he play Zillion as well? Like, I think, or he plays Syndra. I know a lot of Syndra.
You're asking the wrong person. I don't remember who they played last night.
No problem. And it's like, so, but yeah. Then you have Wild Turtle and Ignar. Wild Turtle is always known for Wild Turtle moments, which are going way too aggressive at the wrong times. But that's usually because a wrong time could be a right time. This you can tell the LPL has ruined me. Going in at the wrong time could be the right time if you execute it properly and you go in as a team. Like
you have to be on the same page.
You have to be on the same page. Exactly.
You got to have vision and communication.
Because if you do not have the communication, the way I always like to look at it, a high risk play is 100% chance going to fail if you do not communicate it properly with your teammates. Like, if you're split on a decision, everything is going to fail. If you're just one cohesive unit, even the high risk plays can work out. So I'm thinking Ignar coming out with his super aggressive style down there with Wild Turtle is going to be a lot better fit than JJ. And I think that might actually make them a little bit of a threat, like near top 5, 4 at most, I would say.
Okay.
For bot lanes. This could completely blow up. Can also be 10th. Because they're on the same page, but they're on the same page of enting. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they're just playing slow.
Yeah, and
I did have one comment, a real life comment, based on being on the same page. So when William and I duo queue, we do the same invade every time. We hide in the mid lane brush on the river, and we wait for the team to walk in. And then whenever there's a fight, our team is always split, and then someone dies. And because we don't focus anybody.
Because no one commits a damn thing.
Gotta be on the same page.
We gotta be on the same page. If we had I'm telling you, invading level 1 is the best thing in the world to do in solo queue if you can get all 5 of your members on board. Because half the time, if you get 5 members, the rest of the team, like, you're betting on the odd. If you're a gambling man, someone's AFK usually, like, every 2-3 games for the first, 30 seconds or so.
You should have a 4v5.
Yeah,
at least.
The top laner's just up top, just chilling, doing nothing. Why, instead of doing nothing, why not just go in, no matter what? You're gonna get you don't even have to play super risky. If you have any type of CC, you can easily get a flash for free. You don't have to spend anything for it. Usually.
Right.
Then you get the game, 1 out of every 8 games or so that we play where our team's completely on the wrong page and then they're all there and then blows up in our face.
Right.
But yeah, going back to FlyQuest, Santorin is my biggest question mark. fantastic spring split. Really was a breakout year for him and got FlyQuest all the way to 3rd or 4th, I believe.
Playoffs.
Playoffs. And then, because he was super aggressive in spring. Summer,
Right.
super non-aggressive. Like, non-existent even. Like, me and Ryan went to deep detail about this towards the end of the summer split, where he almost did nothing every game. Like, if you went and just specifically watched Santorin every game, he was doing almost nothing. Like, no ganks, power farming, but not farming well enough. And then just in team fights, he was backing out or getting caught and dying immediately. It was very weird to see the change. So hopefully this year, if he can go back to that aggressive style, play a lot towards bot lane with the aggressive style with his bot lane as well, I think they can make a splash here at 6. That's my risk. That's my riskiest pick of the split so far.
I like it. Calculated. But anyway, we got to move on from FlyQuest.
Enough of FlyQuest. We can talk
Golden Guardians briefly.
Yeah, we already talk Golden Guardians and
I don't think I did.
Oh yeah, what did you want to talk about Golden Guardians? Go ahead.
Basically, oh yeah, we did. Just kidding. You talked about, or was that before the podcast? I don't know.
That was on podcast. You're good. I was like, I'm pretty sure we did.
Okay, cool.
But Dignitas is the next one. I have Dignitas 8th. You have him 6th. Brian also has him 8th. Okay. I'm thinking you're the biggest hype on them, which is not like huge.
Not huge.
To me, Dignitas is like they have Huni in the top lane. They have Frog in mid. They have Aphromoo as their support. They have Greg as their jungler. And they have Johnson as their ADC. Johnson, brand new rookie. Excited to see how he plays out. Huni, we've seen a lot. He did perform really well at the end of Summer Split. I will give him that. Got a massive pay raise, though, from that, which was very questionable, in my opinion. And for him being like near 4th, 5th, 6th best top laner, usually most splits for the last 2 years. And Greg,
world's finalist though.
Yeah, world's finalist. Yeah, that's true. Greg did okay on TSM. I can never. I'm more optimistic on Greg than most people. I just feel like because like you never know a TSM jungle. Like TSM ruins junglers. So hopefully on a different team, different atmosphere, maybe it gets better. But he didn't look great towards the end of the year, and they literally went to a rookie jungler instead of both Greg and Acadian as well. Like and they're both on Dignitas now. Like they just completely threw them both away at the end of the split, and we're like, here we go, we're going on a brand new jungler, and it failed miserably. Froggen and Aphromoo as well. Really old veterans on this team, a lot of them.
A lot of leadership on this
team. Of leadership, but there's a thing called too many cooks in the kitchen, you know? Like maybe you have too much leadership or too much.
They've had a lot of time to get on the same page.
Yes.
I think we'll know really early if they're going to play well together.
I absolutely agree with that.
I think by week 2, we'll know how Dig will do.
Yeah, I agree with that. If Dig is 3-1, 4-0 at the end of week 2, this team has found that fountain of youth. All these people that are considered washed up are like, oh no, we're not washed up. Like, because you could definitely say, looking at performances from Froggen, Aphromoo, and Huni, you can make the argument that they're kind of washed up now compared to what they used to be. So if they can get it together, that'd be much better.
I have a scenario. I know if they can get it together, they'll be good. Sorry for cutting you off.
No problem.
Okay. So say there's a misfit scenario. And they have to swap their team. Besides Huni, they pay him too much. Yeah. I don't think they're putting Lorlo in for Huni. Okay, so we keep Huni. You get Ole for Aphromoo.
Okay.
Good in the past. You have
another high
Tanner, Demonte for Froggen. Great mid laner. I think he got robbed of a starting spot.
I agree with that.
Yeah. Let's see. Phoenix, historically a good AD carry. Who's their starting AD carry? Johnson? Yeah. Who knows about Johnson? He could be the next coming of Double Lift, but we'll wait and see. Phoenix is solid. Ole is solid. Acadian's solid. They have a solid backup plan.
They do. I agree with that.
I think they can do what Cloud9 did and kind of rotate players in and out, find their groove. Maybe not too late into the season, like maybe TSM with their junglers.
Yeah, like last week of the year, you're like, all right, you're in. Show what you got. Like what?
But if they can figure out their groove and get in gear, I think they'll be good.
Okay. I agree with that. I mean, that makes sense. Now it gets into a little bit of interesting part. All three of these
Yeah.
next teams, all of us have these teams in our top 5 except for this one specific person. So I'll start with Ryan just because he's not here and I can just read his notes real quick. But oopsie, where the heck did the notes go? All right, I'm not starting with Ryan because I don't have the notes. Oh, there they are. Okay, I do have the notes.
Prepared streamer.
Prepared streamer for sure. He has Evil Geniuses as his 6th place team. So the reason being, according to Ryan, this is all Ryan stuff, not me. He said the highest of the new returning organizations in the rankings. So that's good news because he had Dignitas and Immortals down at 8th and 10th. This team is both intriguing and frustrating because on paper I can see so much potential for this roster, but on that same paper I see so many question marks and potential problems top to bottom. Which I think me and Brian we talked about this before stream. We both agree with that quite a lot.
Yeah.
He said Kumo showed a lot of team fighting fire in his games on C9, but he also only started in 4 games total, which is given quite a bit of attention and looked pretty meh in lane. I think that's very justifiable. Kumo is a very big question mark on the team. See how he pulls out being a full-time starter instead of just starting part-time like he was when Licorice had his injury. Zazel, also coming from C9, has had moments of being a top 2 or 3 support in the league, but also had a lot of questionable laning, and only seems to be on top 2 or 3 with champions like Alistair, Braum, and Thresh.
Nothing wrong with that.
I agree with that completely. Again, we're very similar on on EGs, because I personally have EG spoiler. I have him 5th, so I'm like really close to 6 here. He says Bang is a former 2-time world champion, but he's also coming off quite possibly the worst and most disappointing year of his career, and is moving from laning with Aframu to moving with Zazel, which is not exactly the biggest step up. It could be a step up, but
I think that's a huge step up.
You agree? You think it's a huge step up?
The reason being, Aframu is super opinionated, and Bang is a 2-time world champion.
Oh,
so I'm assuming he also has big opinions on how the game should be played, and I think Aframu is a vet. He's very smart. I like him. I'm still a fan of Aframu's from CLG. But Bang has a certain way of doing things, I'm sure, back on the SKT days, and maybe he wasn't able to grow as much as he could in that environment. So I'm excited.
So you think Zazel was one of the main shot callers on Cloud9, so you think that Zazel will let Bang do his own thing kind of more so than Aframu would?
I think shot calling is way different than your game plan going in.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yep. I like that point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. Aframu has a certain way of playing. So.
Next up was Jizuke. He said Jizuke is the Italian stallion. It's capable of popping off at any moment and was top 3 among mids in EU. I'm assuming he meant like 2 years ago, but seemingly ever since World 2018, he's fallen off a cliff and looked like one of the worst mids in EU at the end of last year. Agree with that, and I think that I am really high on Jizuke actually because I think that he has major potential to make a breakout year again, like a recovery year here.
Also going from arguably top 2 region in the world to 4th.
Yes. And not only that, he's also was facing EU mids all day, every day. And like EU mids are really tough to fight.
And he is an EU mid.
He is an EU mid himself. But also, I like to point out that Echo is super broken right now. And not just Worlds broken in the jungle, where then he never showed up at Worlds after going 0-4 in day 1. Like, he never showed up again. Like, he's really strong now. He got even more buffs on top of that. So, he's a big threat for mid laners. Jizuke is a very good Echo player. That's where we saw him pop off like the most. Like Echo and LeBlanc is like what I always treat Jizuke as. And on top of that, he's going to have Svenskeren, which will be the next point. But he's going to have Svenskeren as his jungler. We saw what Niski was able to bring to the table with Svenskeren. He was one of the best mid laners in NA, and people were always wondering, is it really Niski that's doing so well, or is it Svenskeren that's helping him? And we're going to find out this season which one. Was it a little bit of both, or was it heavily weighted in Svenskeren helping him, or Niski helping Svenskeren? And I think personal belief was that Svenskeren was just really MVP of last year. really, really good, and the reason why Niski was able to succeed so much. And I think that can happen again with Jizuke.
I agree.
And that's very similar. I will repeat that because that was pretty much exactly what Ryan said.
But like I was saying with who was I talking about Dig and having a great backup plan.
Yeah.
I think if this EG roster flops,
They have no backup plan.
they got. I mean, definitely is solid for
Yeah.
Bang, two-time world champion. Kadir, don't know anything about him. So I almost said Sven. If Sven Skaren has a bad year, who knows? I am
Yeah.
out. I am out on
Yeah.
Matt.
Yeah.
You know me and Matt. I don't like Matt.
You hate him.
I think he's
You
probably
personally hate
a
him.
wonderful person, but as a player, I do not want him on my
Ever
team.
since I started first watching League, Ryan's like, I hate this guy.
I hate him as a player, not as a person. I'm sure he's a lovely guy. I'd love to meet him and talk to him. I'm sure he's nice. But yeah, Brandini, we'll see how their top lane goes this year. I think that's their big weak point.
Yes, I agree. Unless Kumo comes into his own. But yeah,
Right.
and even Ryan at the end there said this can go really bad if the coin toss is tossed wrong. He thinks the whole team's a complete coin toss. Your one that you have that none of us have up here is you have Cloud9 7th. Mind talking
Yes.
about that?
Okay. Let me get to their roster real quick, because I don't know it off the top of my head. Okay. Oh, do I not have? Oh, there it is. Okay. Well, they lost Sneaky,
Mhm.
which I think is going to hurt just
Yes.
the environment of the team.
Mm-hmm.
I think Cloud9 is known as an amazing organization to play for, and that's why Sneaky's been there so long, and it was time for him to move on, I think. But Sven is his replacement, and if you're talking about Sven from 3-4 years ago, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. But like recently he had the big blunder in playoffs. I think that was 2 splits ago. Was that spring?
Yeah, that was spring. That was spring championship. Lost the
huge blunder.
championship.
Yeah, and then last split, I mean, very meh. Like nothing. Like it's not like, oh man, you gotta go watch TSM, watch Sven pop off. Like definitely not. I don't know. I just think they got downgraded at jungle. Top is still top tier. Niski is still top tier. Sven is very middle of the pack for me, and Vulcan is very middle of the pack.
Okay.
So 7th is probably a little harsh, but they're my team that has to prove it to me. And I'm sorry, Ryan, for putting them 7th.
Yeah, that makes sense. I agree with that a lot. I was wavering a little bit. I actually have recently started. Maybe it's because I talked to Ryan too much, and like he's giving me this C9 propaganda. But like I'm starting to feel a little bit better about their bot lane. Like I think that Sven. I don't know. Something about TSM is like just it's like the opposite of the Cloud9 environment, you know?
It is.
It feels like it's insanely toxic. So I'm wondering if coming out of that might help him and maybe he can like regain what he was before. And we'll see. Vulcan is a really aggressive. Vulcan is a very aggressive support paired with Blabber, a very aggressive jungle with a very aggressive mid laner and Niski. I'm not calling him Fun Plus Phoenix by any means, but that is the winning formula at the moment, in my opinion, where you have full control of the dragon and the river. Like having those three play super aggressive style could actually really benefit them, in my opinion. And then you have Licorice Top, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's still a lot of question marks though. Still absolutely Sven could be bad again like he was on TSM. Vulcan can not improve at all. Like cuz Vulcan right now definitely needs improvement still, but like I feel like there's still potential for that improvement. But if he doesn't, then all of a sudden you're looking at a very mediocre bot lane. If your bot lane's getting pushed in, you're not going to have any drag control. So it's lying on and Niski. Will Niski be a top performer without Svenskeren? We don't know. We have no idea. So I still have him higher than 7th, but I think because I'm a little more optimistic on those changes, I guess. But like you said, you need them to prove it to you.
Right.
And for me, my 7th team that
disgraceful.
I'm sorry, is CLG. Not saying CLG.
You know what? Switch C9 and TL for me.
Oh, TL?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
With CLG, my only concerns now. This is temporary. It's preseason, you know. They can move up. Ruin started out hot and kind of fell off towards the end and got more sloppy. I love aggressiveness, like as you know, but like it was like sloppy aggressiveness by him. So hopefully,
I
clean that up.
completely disagree because he is the pressure point for that team.
Okay. I will say, compared to Darshan, it is still an improvement no matter what.
Yeah. He puts out so much pressure and draws people top lane. I think Reaper commented on it that he's a very good top laner and he plays very well, and I agree.
Okay. I see it
That Reaper commented on that like when Ruin joined the team.
Gotcha.
That's very old.
Very old news. But I just see I want him to clean up some of the overextend. Like, it's a little too much. It's kind of like Huni. If I'm gonna blame Huni for it, I'm gonna blame Ruin for it. It's a little too much on the overextension, and a few more wards will help him out. You can agree with that one. You love your wards.
I agree.
And Wiggly.
Wards can help everybody.
Wiggly, fantastic. I'm super excited to see Wiggly come back. He had a breakout year last year, one of the best junglers in NA, and I'm looking forward to see if he can keep that performance up. Crown, I do like as Power. I think he fits CLG a little bit better than Power Evil did. I think just in general, like, Crown has had really high highs on Optic and kind of carried Optic quite a few times along with Meteos. And big, sorry, and big. Of course. That's just no. Yeah, I didn't say anything. And but yeah, Crown really popped off, and I think that he has potential here. I'm just a little worried if, like, how many years? Because how old is Crown? It could be a situation where I'm like, oh man, he's like getting old now, but he's actually like 20. Like the Shy is like 20 years old, and like, okay.
I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah, and then you have your bot lane of Stixay and Smoothie instead of Stixay Biofrost. The kind of it's a side grade to me skill wise, like talent wise for Biofrost for Smoothie. Not a big difference in my opinion. But
Crown is 24. Crown is actually 3 days younger than me, or older than me.
Interesting. Yeah. The more you know.
We are the same age, and I'm not an LCS player.
Let's say,
or a world champion.
It's like someone succeeded a little better at League of Legends than the other. But Smoothie, my worry is losing Biofrost's shot calling. How do you what do you feel about that? Like, who's going to take the reins of shot calling? Because I don't see Ruin really being a shot caller, and I don't see I do all those reins go onto Wiggly?
I think it's very obviously Smoothie and Wiggly.
Okay.
I mean, I think Stixay can contribute. I think it's harder as an AD carry to be a shot caller. Yeah, I think Smoothie is a proven veteran, very good on Cloud9. I mean, okay on TSM, but who knows how
questionable Barons and team fighting situations.
Yeah. I don't know. I think he's a veteran voice, so he won't get nervous. He'll have a clear head.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
That was my biggest takeaway. Is like, I see potential here. What were you guys? You guys were third last year actually, and then the playoffs.
That's why 7th. What are you talking about?
Okay, well, maybe I ranked you. Maybe I should put you 6. I'm not gonna move it because it takes a lot of effort compared to spreadsheets. It's a lot more difficult now. But maybe I think it's 6 now. But like, yeah, for the most part, you're either you're in the playoffs or like lower on playoffs to me. I'm just worried that shot calling aspect of Biofrost is going to be missed a little bit too much, in my opinion. But yes, let's go up to our top 5 because that was a long time on the bottom 5. well, also the bottom 5 there's a lot of variance. There's not as much.
We talked about Cloud.
Yes, we talked about CLG and Evil Geniuses. Did you have anything?
And EG.
Yeah, so like you and Ryan both have CLG as 5th. Not too far off 7th.
But still good. I just think other teams are going to be performing pretty well.
Mm-hmm. I have Evil Geniuses 5th. I
commented on EG. I think they just don't have a backup plan if it explodes, like Ryan said.
Yeah, and I think so the next one would be I have Cloud9 4th, and we kind of talked about Cloud9. Like, Ryan has him actually up to 3rd. He's actually been really hyped on the Vulcan and Sven lane. I think he's kind of
Kool-Aid big time.
Yeah, he's drinking a little bit of Kool-Aid, but I think at the same time, like, there's I agree with him as in there's more unknown potential here than what you were seeing with Zayzul and Sneaky. You were getting very consistent performances, but like there was no upside, unknown upside that you can get. So I think that he's buying in on the upside of having Zayzul and or not Zayzul, Vulcan and Sven, and on top of that, I think he's buying into seeing how Blabber does with a full season under his belt, and hoping and Licorice was Licorice. So I think we're fine with that everywhere.
Right. I think everybody's okay with that.
Yeah. I have TSM number 3. You have TSM number 4. Ryan has them 2. I think that's pretty much where everyone else has them. TSM made the big change of they have Broken Blade still in top lane. Excuse me. I think he's still very solid top laner. Only 20. Want to know with the Bud Light sponsorship that LCS got today? Or announced today. They got it probably forever ago. Announced it today. There's only like 5 people in the LCS that can't legally drink. Which sounds like, oh wow, there's like some young kids there. That might be the outside perspective. I heard that and I was worried. Because I've been watching a lot of LFL, and I told you, Brian, how many teams are like...
They're like 19, 20 at most. Yeah.
E-Star, the team that's 2-0, that upset Fun Plus Phoenix, that just first year in the league, not a single player is above 20 on that team.
Hey, to be fair, how old do you have to be in the LPL?
17.
17?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I bet they have more players that can drink in the LPL.
Yeah, I don't know the legal. What's the legal?
It's 18 in
China.
18?
Yeah. That is to be fair, but the issue wasn't the drinking aspect of this. The issue was the age aspect.
All right, fine, whatever.
You missed the point. No, the age. I was like, man. The LPL, if League doesn't change, if they never change wards back, I think that's the biggest key that I've always talked about, is how wards are a lot shorter now and you can't hold as many. The LPL is going to be the best region for the next, 4 or 5 years, because they're going to be the new Korea. Korea is, the first dynasty. LPL is going to be the second dynasty, and they're already on their way to being that. But anyway, Broken Blade, 20-year-old mid laner, or top laner, very strong. I think he's top 4, top 5 in the LCS. So if he can improve on that, obviously I'm not going to put him above Impact, Licorice, or Someday. But outside of that, I think he can definitely work his way into top 4 there. Dardoch is the biggest question mark for this team. How do you feel about the Dardoch jungle?
I think Dardoch is an amazing jungler.
Okay.
I think the TSM atmosphere, I think he's had a lot of time to mature. I don't know the guy, obviously, personally. I've never had a conversation with him. Don't listen to interviews with him. Not that he does a ton. But I think he's going to be better than Spica.
Okay. That's a low bar.
Yeah.
No offense to Spica. He's put in terrible position.
No offense to Spica. Spica's had all this time with the team, so he could have had major offseason improvements. Maybe we'll see. Hopefully, we don't see too much swapping in and out, because I
I will put it right here. If they're swapping in and out, there is multiple. TSM's gonna blow up. Again for the 3rd time.
Yeah, I mean, I think Kabe is what I'm most excited for.
Yes, yeah. Let's talk. So Bjergsen's in mid lane. He re-signed. I know Brock was more upset than me, man. But I wanted Bjergsen as the 100 Thieves mid laner so bad.
That would have been terrifying.
My God, we'll talk about 100 Thieves after this, but just when we talk about 100 Thieves, replace the mid Ryoma with Bjergsen's name, and then think about that team. But Bjergsen is now a part owner of TSM as well, so that's a little weird, but it's happened before. It's not the first time this has happened with
League. Reginald, the full owner.
Yep. Yep. With Kabe though in the bot lane with Biofrost now instead of Smoothie as their replacement, who was a replacement for Mithy. But I think that Kabe is very solid of a ADC. He's a consistent ADC though. He's not necessarily a feast or famine. Is that what TSM needs? Because they already have Bjergsen, who's kind of like that already. That's my only concern with this team, is that outside of possibly Broken Blade up top, and depending on what we haven't seen Dardoch in a year and a half since in
Right.
in actual LCS. So he's a big question mark for me as well. That's why I have them third and not second. But
That's fair.
but outside of Broken Blade, I don't see any of this like. We have Biofrost, Kabe, and Bjergsen. Very consistent. Does it have that like that it factor that they always talk about? You know, like that next level that you need to win a game. That aggressive step that Sven took at spring finals and failed. That was just a stupid step. That wasn't an aggressive step. But like, do they have that on this team?
I mean, if Bjergsen can get back, I mean, we're always talking about if he can just get back to how he was. Meta's changed, map changed, lots changed. I mean, no, they don't.
No. Okay. Okay. Do you
Face
think
value? No.
Yeah, so that's are they gonna play because they play safe? Like that's my biggest red flag with this team. There's not too many. This team is actually it is a pretty good.
It's
team.
solid, very
It's a solid
solid.
team.
I mean, I have them making playoffs.
Yeah,
by
you have them
decent
fourth, I have
margin.
them third, right? Like we're all like semi-final team. We're talking here at worst. But my only worry is in if the dragon fight from LPL so far. Can't put any value into this because it's the only professional league so far, so it's like the professional meta at the moment. Is team fighting. It's also the LPL. The meta was if it wasn't team fighting, the LPL would still be team fighting. So, but it's team fighting around dragon quite often, and dragons are kind of very important. Souls, I've talked about it briefly last podcast on the LPL podcast. Not as important as they seem to be initially. A lot of teams through, and I even talked about maybe intentionally giving dragons away so you don't get the soul, so the Elder Drake doesn't spawn, because it just creates an automatic win condition for your opponents. But won't go into too much detail there. I'll talk to you about that one later off podcast because I talked about it Sunday. But Kabe's gonna sit back and farm. Bjergsen's gonna sit back and farm. Dardoch's not going to have too much help in the river. You know how I was talking about with FlyQuest potentially in the river or in C9 in the river controlling that? They're not going to have that on TSM. So if NA plays similar to how China has played so far, that could be a big problem for them. Maybe they can fix it. Maybe go more aggressive with Dardoch and Bjergsen becomes a much more aggressive mid laner. Kabe becomes a more aggressive ADC. But we'll see. From past performances, I have not seen that.
I mean, it's definitely going to be the team where it's not cut and dry, and no one is going to be shocked if they're in the spring final.
Yeah.
Like, it's TSM.
Yeah, I agree with that.
At the same time, if they flop, also not going to be shocked.
Okay. Yep. They're very similar to Evil Geniuses in that, by me. They have less, in the sense that they're more consistent than Evil Geniuses, but they're too consistent. Evil Geniuses are too much of a wild. They're like the opposite. Evil Geniuses is too much of a wild card and with higher potential, bigger fall. TSM not as much potential, or not as much potential, but not as much fall.
If I could change my power rankings after having talked on here mostly, instead of me just glancing at the rosters and being like, "Oh man," I wouldn't switch CLG and EG, but I would shift. I would put EG at 5th and then TSM 3rd. CLG.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's You're nervous now. The coin flip's got you nervous.
No, I mean y'all definitely. I don't think my preseason predictions are gonna hold up.
Yeah, they never do for any of us. There's always a team that shocks and always a team that disappoints. Speaking of a team that's disappointed for a year, let's talk 100 Thieves. We're sold again. We're suckers.
We're all on the bandwagon.
We're suckers again.
They have the best PR team in the game.
I'm telling. I've always said that for all the new teams that came, like when Optic came back, or like 100 Thieves, Golden Guardians, all those new teams when franchises were initiated. 100 Thieves. By far, best merch, best PR game, best everything. So, they have been hands down the best, in my opinion, at creating a fan base. And
they have the sweetest merch. I love their merch.
Yeah, I agree with that completely. And on top of that, this year, now, they have Someday. He's out of Academy hell.
Thank God.
Should have never been in Academy. This guy.
I don't care if you have to play Saligo. Someday.
Yeah, I agree. Someday, arguably number one top laner in NA. Like you can with between Licorice, Someday, and Impact, they're all fighting for that number one spot. And then you have
Solo carried 100 Thieves when he was still on the main roster.
Yep, I
For the
agree.
most part. Yeah.
I just want to point out real quick. Ryan said, "I just got here. I see a serious lack of C9 in the top 3." I'm close. I got him 4th. Brian has
Well,
him
Ryan,
7th.
he's not on my not in my top 5. So sorry.
But they picked up Meteos again, former 100 Thieves, where they said that it was that was during the quite a mess situation of Prolly, which man, that was rough. Like they lost Meteos, which made kind of no sense at the time because Meteos was kind of carrying the team as well. They have Ryoma in the mid lane, which is by far the biggest question mark on this team. And just remember what I said. Imagine Bjerg's in here, and imagine them winning. That team would probably beat Team Liquid for the championship. But
I'd say it definitely would be closer.
yeah, much closer. And Ryoma is a big question mark. Coming over from the OPL, I loved him in the OPL. I just think that he's an unknown factor here. Like obviously, like just like Closer, we're seeing a bunch of new players from the wildcard regions actually try and show up. Like now, in a major region, we got to see how good they should. Like, are they really good in a wild card because are they a big fish in a small pond? Is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So we'll there are just a bunch of question marks there. Cody Sun, I've always said is the second best AD since I started watching League. It was super biased at first because I just liked Immortals and did nothing. But I've always said Cody Sun was the second best ADC in NA. Got completely laughed at for a year, understandably. But now that he is, I'm like, yes, I was right the whole time. I love Cody Sun. Cody Sun is one of my favorite players in the league, and I honestly was now hindsight 2020. Very happy. The Team Liquid got double lift. When the announcement came down, when they got Xmithy, Pobelter, and Ole, I was devastated that they didn't pick Cody Sun as well. I was so sad. But yeah, no, it's fine. No, I'm fine. And then you have Stunt, which is also another question mark in the support role. Do you have any feelings about Stunt at all coming up?
I don't know enough about Stunt, honestly.
Rookie from Academy coming in, and we'll see. I think that he can play really well. I think Cody Sun can teach him the way of just high pressure bot lane, hopefully. And I'm kind of, but those are the two worrisome things for me. But I think just having Cody Sun, Meteos, and Someday on the team, those are 3 major carries that can win you a championship. So I think if Ryoma steps up and just pops off like he was in LPL or OPL, and if Stunt performs just admirably, I think this team is a very big threat.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think they win, but someone's got to prove it that they can beat TL.
Yeah, Ryan said that he thinks Stunt is actually a big question mark to Ryoma. Stunt has been in LCS a few times and never really did much of a note. Ryoma is at least fresh. Yep, that's a very good point.
I mean, I agree, but you can argue Core JJ was also in the LCS.
True.
No, but I agree with that.
All right, and our number one team, sorry, we're very boring, but it's not fair. The Team Liquid has won the last 4 championships in a row. They were off center there. I had to fix those real quick. They'll be fixed in a second. But the last 4 splits in a row have all gone to Team Liquid. The only change they made is Xmithy did leave the team, and unfortunately, I heard that they were actually really close to a sign, or they really wanted to sign him back and kind of run it back a little bit like that. But he got an offer from clearly Immortals.
An offer he could not refuse.
Immortals must have made him bank, which is true because Xmithy never made much money on Immortals initially, and then he got the contract traded to Team Liquid when they already had Double Lift and Impact and all these other rosters. So you gotta probably assume that Xmithy probably has never made a lot of money in LCS for being a 5-time champion or 4-time champion. I'm trying to 5-time, I think.
Isn't he tied?
Yeah,
with most?
No, he does. He's like 1 or 2 behind Double Lift. I think he tied Bjergsen or passed Bjergsen now.
I think he may have tied him. I don't know.
But anyway, he's made a lot less money than Bjergsen in Double Lift. Let's be honest.
Ryan said, "Dig Core JJ shooting Ezult backwards." Never
That was in the past. Now Core JJ is our best player in all of NA, pretty much. And,
That's basically our whole thoughts on 100 Thieves. But the past is the past.
Exactly. But yeah, so I think that's why Smithy went to more. I think he's getting paid. He's 28. Like, he is old for LCS standards, and I'm almost getting there. I'm only 2 years away now, or soon. But like, he's getting his paycheck and seeing those retirement years soon is what I think. Totally respectable for the amount of championships he has.
Hope he's got a backup plan.
Yeah. Broxa is the new jungler, obviously, on Team Liquid, unless he has visa issues, which is what we've learned. And so is Shortfalls, who's also from Direwolves. Do you remember Shortfalls on Direwolves?
Yeah, I remember Shortfalls.
Yeah, he was basically
the only name I know from
basically
Direwolves,
the very famous name, like a beast, but insanely toxic, like Tyler 1 before Reform toxic. So he also has visa issues, also going to be the Team Liquid Academy jungler. So when your jungler can't show up in your academy, you just replace him with your academy jungler. Your academy jungler can't show up. Your former mid laner, now new coach, Pobelter, is now your jungler apparently. It's still weird to me. I'm watching. No. Nope, that doesn't happen. I think Mike Young is the backup the academy jungler. Yikes. But yeah, Pobelter has been grinding out a lot of solo queue on jungle, and if hopefully Broxa can get those visa issues fixed, but if not, Pobelter will be on a starting roster to start the year after not getting signed as mid laner, but as a jungler for not like Golden Guardians or anything, but for the 4-time defending champs Team Liquid. Oh man, how do you think about Pobelter jungle? I love Pobelter personally. But
I watched Hot Wands, so I'm really high on Pobelter right now.
I love Pobelter.
Yeah, Hungry Box and Pobelter ate wings like Hot Ones.
Yep, I watched it.
It was a good episode. So I really like Pobelter as a person, always have. Like him as a player. We'll see.
Yeah,
he's a good player.
In his defense, he's got a lot of stuff around him that could carry him. He's got pretty much
definitely can.
Arguably top 1 top laner, like top 3 minimum, top 1, 2 at most mid lane. No question, top 1 ADC in support. Not even close. And so like he's got all the top pieces around him to carry him, but will those pieces struggle? Will those pieces struggle without a jungler? Like, it's a 4v5. It could be a potential 4v5 situation here. It's going to be a little worrisome.
But it's TL and NA, so.
Yes. I still overall feel okay about Team Liquid. I'm very curious what Broxa brings to the team. Because let's talk about Broxa a tiny bit. Where, like, because, I don't think Pobelter is going to be starting from very long, if at all. Yeah. But Broxa, Smithy's always brought late game to Team Liquid and like shot calling and all that. Broxa's going to bring early game to Team Liquid. Team Liquid's biggest issue in International has always been that they fall behind too quickly early, and then the teams are too good compared to LCS teams, unfortunately. Like, they're way better than the LCS teams. They don't give up that lead that LCS teams have thrown time and time again to Team Liquid over and over in team, because Team Liquid pretty much never loses a team fight in LCS.
Yeah, Ryan said, I'm reading your chat, streamer.
Yeah.
Ryan said, to be fair, it's still a full roster of 5 TL LCS champions, which is 100% true.
That is 100% true.
Completely factual statement.
A completely factual statement by Ryan. But yes. I think that Broxa will add a little bit of early game dynamic that Team Liquid has, but I'm curious of how bad it hurts their team fighting down the line in late game. Are they still okay with that without Xmithy? And Xmithy's selfless play, is Broxa going to be able to handle that with having like double lift, get all the resources, or Jensen needs a lot of resources as well? Like, I don't know. We'll see.
Broxa was probably the signing I was the least excited to hear when it came out. Big signing, and I was like, oh. Because he's great in EU, or he was. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was on Fnatic. I think Fnatic as a team kind of struggled. I mean, they were, second in EU?
Yeah, second in EU, made quarters at Worlds. But I will go to...
Compared to past splits, his performance was not what it has been.
Yes,
so,
I agree with that.
I don't know like you said, what he adds. I
Hmm.
think Xmithy is probably a better jungler.
Okay, yeah. I think it's at best a side grade. It's not. It
At
adds
best, a
it,
side grade. I agree.
it adds a different style, which maybe that's the only positive I can see is it can add maybe Team Liquid finds out how to play early game and they still know how to play late game, and that's helpful. But outside of that, I don't see much from this being, which is it's not going to be way worse than Impact by than Xmithy by any means. So Team Liquid still obviously number one. Like I don't see any other team player to player better than Team Liquid, but I could potentially see them losing this roster or this year in Spring Split if 100 Thieves meshes well and Ryoma pops off and Stunt does well, and then Team Solo or Team TSM technically right, but just sounded weird. Just everything works. Like there's no blow up there either. Yeah, Ryan. Right, yeah. Ryan said Fnatic. Second in EU, took G2 to game 5 twice in playoffs. Struggled. No quotes, but I'm adding the quote. It was all Blifo. 1v1 champion, 1v9
Struggled compared to their past.
Mm-hmm.
EU is super top heavy. Everybody knows it. And they're the best of the pile.
I absolutely agree. The EU is very top heavy.
If you hold EU up to NA, yeah, they probably still do super well, but they just they took them to 5 games. I don't have an argument. Whatever. They were memeing.
Yeah, you can always fall back on that.
Not a sound argument though.
All right, let's go into our predictions.
Okay.
We had an hour of power ranking, but that makes sense because had to talk about all
It's week
changes.
1, yeah. We got to go in depth on every team
because we don't have any games to talk about. But game number 1 between Cloud9 and Cloud9 and Team Liquid. First game of the LCS. Ryan has Cloud9. I have Cloud9, and then Brian, you have Team Liquid.
I do have Team Liquid.
Me and Brian before I finish the statement, me and Ryan have I should have put an asterisk on the screen. We do not have Cloud9 if Broxa starts. We have Cloud9 if Pobelter
Top
starts.
Out. Commit.
No, I am not.
I said committing. It was okay off stream, but now I'm going back on my word. I'm gonna shame you.
I don't care. If Pobelter is starting jungle, I think Blabber is going to eat him alive on the aggressive style. Like he is going to be in his jungle all day, every day. Pobelter's going to be like level 3, and it's going to be possibly Team Liquid wins that 5v4, but it's probably really difficult to win a 5v4 in the LCS.
If you don't think that Pobelter has already drafted a graduate level thesis on Blabber's jungle style and cross-referenced it with all the evidence from past splits to be prepared for this matchup, you're crazy. He's ready.
Right. You're right. I'm going Team Liquid. Oh man, Ryan has on same board as me. He also has the asterisk as well. I think Blabber is just going to. It's going to be very tough for Pobelter to survive Blabber's aggression if he's not comfortable in the jungle. We'll see.
Very fair.
Yeah, Ryan said that he's excited that we went an hour on power rankings without him. It's impressive, I know. All right. So game number 2 between CLG and Dignitas. I wish I could have the games on the screen, but there's no room on the screen, so that's all I could do. But CLG versus Dignitas is I picked personally. I think CLG is going to win this game. Like I said before in the power rankings, I think Dignitas. Or like you said in the power ranking, not me. I'm not going to take credit for that. You said that. Dignitas is really going to show us what they are very quickly. Are they going to be the old washed up guys that are just there for a paycheck? Or are they going to be reinvigorated?
Sounds tight, actually, if you could be in the LCS just for a paycheck.
Yeah, I agree. That's what I've always said.
Not so lucky.
I've always said I've never flamed the one Russian team, Vivicious, or the all-female team. They got to play professional league, even though they were diamond, and took a paycheck. If a team offered me a spot on the LCS, if you think I would not take that paycheck instantly, and I should have a better Like
Steve goes, William, you are the key to our success.
Yeah, I am taking that paycheck and I'm gonna play my plat level like skill on the LCS stage. I'll get flamed, but I'm making like 300K, you know? And I'm playing on professional league. That'd be so much fun. But
Yeah, living the dream.
yeah. So we'll find out. Brian also has CLG. But yeah.
This I will 100% admit this is the CLG game I'm worried about. I know that may come as a shock.
No, a CLG fan worrying about any game is no shock to me.
Okay, you're right, but I was talking about since they play Golden Guardians next.
No, they play FlyQuest.
FlyQuest next, same thing. No, it's not, but okay, I have it in front of me now. Yeah, they play FlyQuest second, so I think that's a dub.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway you slice it. So, yeah.
Gotcha.
Spoiler. But anyway, I think CLG is a more established team. I think there's going to be jitters for everybody. It's the first week. Dig may have to figure it out. Or they're coming in gear and they just smash. But I think there's going to be a little loading period. I think the second week is when we will know.
Yeah. Yep.
Like we said, yeah.
Yep, like we said earlier. And Ryan also had CLG for this game. Let me scroll down to his notes super quick. He had he just had it right there. He did have notes on it. Wow, Ryan. I'm disappointed. Only 6 pages of notes? Disgusting. I want 10 next week. No.
6 pages of notes. That is not a graduate level thesis. That is only like undergrad level.
Yeah, and Ryan said that the old washed up guys in Johnson, the only rookie in the LCS. That's true. Yeah, does Johnson just win Rookie of the Year? I didn't even think about that until just now. Like, congratulations, Rookie of the Year Johnson. Like,
Take that meme and put it on Reddit, one of y'all.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it.
You know how lazy we are.
I know. Hey,
Yeah, Ryan
nice.
said.
You did something.
Yeah, Will, we're bringing you in as starting ADC. Your Swain is too strong and Core wants to be on Maokai. Yes! Swain Maokai, look it up. I don't know if anyone's ever done it, but we got 15 kills with it in one game. It was very good. Oh, man. I'm replacing Double Lift. Absolutely. I'll do it. Do I get Double Lift's pay grade?
A little bit less.
A little bit less? Okay, I'm fine with that too. Totally. If you give me like probably 10% of what he's making, that'd be fine.
Yeah, probably.
Okay, next game between 100 Thieves and Golden Guardians. I think where we all had Golden Guardians, you kind of know where this one's going. I have 100 Thieves winning this game. I think they start out strong. They've burnt us so many times. They burnt us two splits in a row where we had them like top 2. I think me and Brock actually had them winning spring split last year, and then had them like 3rd or 4th summer split, and they got 10th and like 9th. Oh, it was terrible. They're gonna beat Golden Guardians. You also.
I'm looking something up to be factual.
You
All
also.
right, I got it. I would have been right. Okay. So as our great 43rd president said, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice. But fool me, you can't get fooled again. So that's an actual quote from George W. Bush.
Yep.
You gotta remember the saying. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times. I'm out. I don't know. I have nothing to say.
They're gonna get us again, man. Their PR is too good. Like, this team is perfect at building a brand.
They have so many fans.
They do.
So terrible.
They're so great. They did in my opinion, the perfect way to build a franchise of building from the ground up. You got to build the fans before you can get the players. In my opinion, like before you can get like hype for players and stuff like that.
You got to sell that merch.
Yeah, you got to get the money.
Contracts.
Exactly. And I think they did a great job. Golden Guardians struggled a bit. There's still a few fans, like Lars. Not too many.
Yeah, huge Golden Guardian.
Golden Guardian. He's
got a jersey.
He's got a jersey. It's in his Discord picture. Yeah, I think 100 Thieves has been a knockout of the park for just branding in general. And just expanding the league to like more like non-league viewers as well. I think they've done really well at that.
Yeah, I credit Natejaw for that. I think he's done a good job.
Ryan said he thinks that Dig is a lame duck and CLG take it, and he thinks the same for Golden Guardians and 100 Thieves get rolling. You think 100 Thieves get rolling?
Well, you know what? I will agree.
Next we have FlyQuest versus Immortals. I I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. I have to pick FlyQuest, even though I'll probably be secretly rooting for Immortals in this situation. Like, deep down as a fan. I'm like, come on, guys. You can do it. You prove me wrong. Prove me wrong. But I think FlyQuest is going to... I'm hoping that they bring a style to League. I think I'm trying to use FlyQuest as a sacrificial lamb to like get the NA to start playing like LPL instead of keep copying Korea every year, because the Korean style's dying. We need to get on this page now, or at least go to EU with the flex picks and stuff. We gotta pick a different style.
Has Korea started?
No,
do they...
not yet. No one has started except China, and China doesn't even play until for 3 weeks now after their first week of the season. Kind of sucks. In a lull again. Week 1 of China was just a teaser of League for me, and now I can't watch anymore until Friday.
Got that appetizer.
Yeah, got that little appetizer. Brian, you also, I believe, you have Immortals. Did I pick that right?
I do.
Okay. I make sure, because, like I've said before, there's lots of things invisible on this screen that I have to make sure I click the right one.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think... this is one that Immortals can lose, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think your pick is crazy here.
Nope.
Because there's a lot to be discovered with the Immortals team. So, I mean, we'll see how it pans out. That's all I got to say about that one.
Yeah, and Ryan also picked Fly, which is interesting because Ryan just said that he actually wanted to put Fly 6th and into playoff contention, but he just couldn't put their summer out of his head and couldn't put them above Evil Geniuses and CLG's baseline power.
Yeah, Ryan, I don't know if you were here. You may have been. If I could redo my power rankings, I had EG 3rd, TSM 4th, CLG 5th. I would have shifted TSM up, CLG up, and put EG 5th. If after discussing it a little more.
It's so they're such the biggest coin flip of the year for sure.
For sure.
Game number 5. So that's actually, weirdly enough, I didn't set this slide properly, I guess, for the changes, but we're just gonna deal with it. So I only have to deal with 2 slides. That's all the games for Saturday. Sunday, because we only have 4 games Saturday, 4 games Sunday, and 2 Monday night games now for League, which is why this podcast is on Tuesdays. But
which works for me.
Yeah,
I'll say it now. I plan on appearing more. Nice. As Brian does, I'm sure, of course, as well. But got a new job, got to work later, which I'm fine with. Love the job, so hopefully I can make it each week.
Yep, that's fine. As long as, and then if you can just give me power rankings and predictions, even if you can't make it, well, I can put them in like this.
You'll have to message me on Mondays. Set an alarm on your phone.
I want 10 page. I want 10-page notes though every single week on how the games went.
I would give nothing less.
Of course you.
Definitely not 6 pages.
Definitely not 6 pages like someone.
Just kidding, right?
All right, so Evil Geniuses versus Dig, game number 5. I picked Evil Geniuses to take this game. I'm believing in the coin flip until they prove me wrong. I'm always gonna bet on a coin flip team. Until I love high paced style teams all the time. I'm gonna bet on.
I legitimately don't know who I picked, but if I had to pick now, I think I did pick EG.
Yep, you did pick EG.
Okay.
Do you want to change? I can change it.
No, I don't want to change
it. All right, I'm just making sure.
I mean, I think it's definitely feast or famine. So
yep, absolutely.
It's their first appearance. Dig is already going to have a game under their belt, which actually is something I just now realized, which could be huge for them.
Yes, so. That could like we said, we'll probably know what Dig is really quick.
Oh yeah.
Ryan also had EG over Dignitas, probably for the same reasons of he believes in the coin flip a little bit more, and I know Ryan was pretty harsher on Dignitas than us, even though I think me and him had the same picks.
I think it's fair.
He also said that EG was super hard. I agree because we could get late 2017, early 2018 Svenskeren or MVP Svenskeren. We can get Jizuke's first split on Vitality or last year's Jizuke. Exactly. Everything is so... Even though I'm not necessarily as worried on Svenskeren as Ryan is, I'm worried about Jizuke. And just bang for me.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Let's go to the next game, which is TSM versus Immortals. I don't think we need too much conversation on this. I don't remember everyone's picks, but I kind of probably already know everyone's.
Pretty sure it's TSM. Just go ahead, rapid fire him. Just boom, boom,
Nope,
boom.
I can't do it right now because it's not working properly. I can't get yours. Yours is being difficult. There is an invisible fly quest that's blocking it. Unfortunate. There we go. There's your TS.
Thank you.
Fly quest is coming back to haunt you. Oh man.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, that one's simple. TS, even just raw, pure talent-wise, TSM is. I will be rooting for Immortals again.
I also will be rooting for Immortals in this
Yep,
game.
yep. And then, so the next game is going to be C9 versus Golden Guardians. I think this is a very similar situation for me. I don't think Golden Guardians, especially with FBI and Keith going against an aggressive bot lane of Sven and I was gonna say Cecil again, Vulcan, is not going to be great for them. I need to see something from Keith if I'm gonna see anything from this team. So I have C9.
I'm excited for Keith. I'm glad he gets another chance in a new role.
But
But he is Keith, so I'm not expecting a ton.
the funny thing is I was like, I kind of forgot what your pick was because the Golden Guardians is invisible right on that one too. So I was like, did he pick Golden Guardians? Like, no, it looked off center a little bit. I'm like, no, he didn't pick Golden Guardians.
Golden Glue and Keith for C9. Dang, good point, Ryan.
Yeah. It's maybe they're gonna get revenge.
Yeah, Keith is gonna be super motivated. He's gonna go Ultra Instinct. Swolebro is gonna exact his revenge on Jack. So
Yeah, I
don't know.
Yeah, good luck. We have FlyQuest versus CLG to end Sunday night. By the way, the 8th game of the day.
And everybody has CLG.
Except for me, because
You are
I'm a crazy person.
person.
Yep, I will agree to that because I said I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is. I'm going to pick until FlyQuest proves me wrong. I'm gonna go all in on this team and this style of play that I'm hoping they show. If all
You're going all in on a hope, like they haven't showed anything to prove it. She's like, Ignar, they could pull this off.
I'm going with Ignar and Santorin coming back from from Spring Split, not Summer Split, and that's what I'm hoping on. That's
And
literally
torn out of hibernation.
Yeah, that's my two hopes with this team, and I'm gonna pick them. I think they're similar to CLG in that sense, like in the standings wise. Could be completely wrong with that, but we'll find out. We'll find out by Sunday.
We'll find out quick.
We might find out by Saturday. If they lose to Immortals, they're going back down to 9th in my power rankings.
I think that's fair. I think that's very fair.
Right out of there. And we're going to pretend this podcast never happened. Oh, man. All right. Monday Night League. Monday Night League with sponsor
Get up,
Bud
America!
Light.
It's Monday night.
With the Bud Light sponsorship. You think we're trying to copy the NFL anymore?
Definitely not.
Oh man. Oh man. We're brand new concepts.
Yep.
And before we go, Brian said, if I go 2-0, I will both not be super surprised and also excited because of what that probably means in terms of Fly's playstyle. Yes, that's exactly what I feel. That's exactly what I feel, right? All right. 100 Thieves versus Evil Geniuses. Very good opening game. Very good. I think that we have the team that is looking for something to prove after being the only team to not make playoffs in spring and summer last year. 100 Thieves. even Golden Guardians made playoffs.
Not a great look.
Yeah. And then you have Evil Geniuses, the major coin flip team. So this could be some exciting, wild play. Honestly, my biggest issue in this game and the reason why I picked my team is someday is going to teach Kumo a bad lesson up top. It is not going to be pretty. I think that is going to carry out throughout the rest of the lanes could go pretty even or maybe slightly in EG's favor. I just think that somebody's going to get so far ahead that it's not going to matter.
Who's 100 Thieves mid?
Ryoma.
If Echo goes through, I think it's going to be a hard game for 100 Thieves.
Oh, Ryan wrote notes for this one. So continue. I'll read his notes when I do his prediction. Is that it? Do you think that?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, I picked 100 Thieves, right?
Yep, but you're thinking if Echo goes through, you're like, oh, you could see Evil Genius
If
winning.
Echo goes through, I could see Jizuke running wild. Hopefully, he doesn't split to death like he did on Vitality last split. I don't know.
Yep.
I didn't like that.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Even though honestly,
you were a big Vitality fan. You had that pain. I was a Misfits and you were Vitality. We both struggled.
I'm a Vitality. Well, I won't say I'm a Vitality fan anymore.
I'm not much of a
like
Misfits fan either, to be honest.
Yeah. But I rooted for Vitality and CLG. I'm just what is it? A masochist?
Yeah.
Like hurting yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Ryan's notes for EG and 100 Thieves is sadly with visa issues. I can't give match of the week to either Team Liquid game, but this matchup was interesting to me anyway. One org looking to redeem itself and one looking to stake its claim to the top of the LCS. On the first Monday night game of 2019 Summer Academy playoffs. Oh no, sorry, I totally messed that sentence up. I apologize. That was not Ryan's fault. That was mine. If 2019 Summer Academy playoffs were anything to go by, someday smurfed on everyone, including Kumo. I think top difference is going to be the tipping point in this match and what gives 100 Thieves a 2-0 start to the split. Yep. It's exactly the same as me. And I feel like almost every single split we have put 100 Thieves to start at 2-0, and it is not working recently. So third time's a charm.
Gotta be. This is it.
Ryan said, am I the only one that remembers Jizuke smurfing on Rise? The issue, I take defense as in, I see like 18 mid laners smurf on Rise every week. So, Rise doesn't stand out for me to anyone except for Doinbees, because he made it fancy with the Righteous Glory and Rylai's, and Fakers, because it's Faker's champion, essentially. Everyone else. And I don't, and Pole Belters, I see it as not great. I remember it from Worlds. It wasn't great.
Hey, if you play any Rise on Earth, woo, it's nasty.
So it's just Rise.
So
it's like normal late game Rise then?
Like normal late game Rise.
That's exactly what Rise does in late game.
Except you can just EQ.
Yeah, exactly. Normal late game Rise.
There's a little bit of a pause.
It's like a half-second pause. I hate that champion when he gets ahead. And like if it goes to a 35-minute game, I hate him. Oh man. Finally, the last game of the we can wrap this up real quick. Last game. Team Liquid versus TSM.
Is that right?
I have currently I am in the same boat as my other one. I have a big asterisk next to this one, but I have TSM winning and Team Liquid going 0-2 if Pobelter is the jungler. If Pobelter is not the jungler and it's Broxa, I have Team Liquid going 2-0. So I'm going to be very upset when Broxa's the jungler and they didn't get enough scrim time together, so they're very rusty, and they go 0-2 because that will still count as 2 losses for me.
Yep. Well, I believe in the rest of TL.
Yep. You have Team Liquid winning no matter who the jungler. You could be the jungler there, and you're like, I'm good.
I still think Pobelter's probably a little bit better in the jungle than me.
Just a little bit, you know. You both don't play jungle, so it's
well, yeah, both off-rolled, but yeah, it'd be close.
And then Ryan is also in the same boat as me, though. He has the same asterisk of Pobelter jungler, we're taking TSM. Broxa jungler, we're switching these to Team Liquid. His notes we're weak. Sorry. My Team Liquid prediction.
The week one mulligan.
Yep.
Mulligan.
Ryan said his week 1 Team Liquid predictions are entirely precedented on Broxa having visa issues that are preventing him from playing this week. If that is not the case and he does play, I am switching my Monday night or match of the week to C9 versus Team Liquid. Bias. Should be Team Liquid versus TSM, and changing my predictions to TL for both games.
Yeah, I think the Monday night games are cool because I think you can argue, depending on how EG and 100 Thieves look in their first games, also could be a match of the week.
Yep, absolutely. I think they picked these very intentionally.
This was 100% hand-picked.
Yeah, you gotta have the first ones really good. You couldn't throw Golden Guardians versus Immortals in the first one. Let's just say that. You want to have a complete flop? That's how you get it. All right, final thing before we wrap up. Those are our predictions. I'll just do it real quick, like boom and boom. I think me and Brian, me have 1, 2, 3. We have 4 different predictions. Possibly only 2, depending if Bronx plays. But 4 for sure. But eyes on for the week. My player that I wanted to highlight the most was Jizuke. As we talked about plenty of times on this podcast, I think the coin flip on EG is huge. I'm really hoping to see him pick Echo, like Brian mentioned, against 100 Thieves, and could create a lot of trouble for them. If he does get to pick Echo and beats 100 Thieves with that, and if Shinskaren plays around Jizuke the same way he played around Niski, and we can really see a revival of his career here in NA. And I'm really hoping that will work. So far, our eyes on compared to actual eyes on, not a curse. We picked Fofo for week 1 of LPL, and he popped off. So we'll see. Hopefully, it continues that way. If not, I'm gonna feel really bad every time I pick someone, and I might use that to my advantage against Team Liquid opponents. But anyway, with that,
eyes on anybody playing TL.
the star laner of the opposing team of Team Liquid. Oh, we have 2 eyes on this week. Oh, it's both teams that Team Liquid are facing. Weird. But yes, all right. With that, obviously there's no stats with him yet because there's no stats this year. But with that, I think that will be it for this week's podcast. Thank you so much, Brian, for coming, and hopefully we see you on quite a few more. Ryan, thank you for showing up towards the end here and contributing to us via stream chat. And thank you guys for watching, and we will see you tomorrow.
Wait. Before you go, anybody who's watching this on YouTube, if you've made it this far, 1, hit that like. It helps. Also, what time do you normally stream? Or 10. What time are these normally supposed to be at? 10 Eastern?
Yes.
Feel free to come in the stream chat. We interact with the chat. I interact with the chat a little bit more than the streamer, even though I'm not the streamer.
Listen.
So hopefully I'm on the episode, and I will read your questions and answer them.
Mm-hmm. And if you leave a comment on the video, I will usually always answer that as well. And then I always just like the discussion.
If you want my gold, you want my gold 4 analysis.
Sorry. Before we end, I apologize. If you're still here, Ryan's eyes on was Dardoch for week 1. And he said that he's super interested to see if he can be pivotal to team success with a player with so much history like Dardoch on a team like TSM that has such legacy and has revamped itself to live up that legacy again after 2 years of failure.
And you didn't say my eyes on.
Your eyes on was like all of CLG.
No. Yeah, because you better be watching those boys win. My eyes on is Keith.
Yeah, your eyes on is Keith.
I really want to see how he does.
It's not for pop-off potential. You just want to see it.
I'm saying you better keep an eye on him, or if he's good, Golden Guardian's got a solid team. But
yeah. All right. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be doing EU tomorrow. And then we'll be doing the wild card on Thursday, which is so nice that I don't do Friday podcasts anymore because I missed half of them last year. But thank you guys for watching, and we will see you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.